Hello everyone, welcome back to our channel NEET Atomics, and this is Vamsi. Yes, in today's video we'll be discussing about breathing and exchange of gases as a part of our NEET 2024 Blitz Batch, a rapid revision program. And yes, the response which I have showed for the physics video was spectacular, in a word to say. So I would like to continue physics with Ashok sir. He'll be continuing your chapters further also. So let us start with our today's explanation of breathing and exchange. As I said, we'll not go on keeping on explaining each and everything, but we'll be explaining all the important topics. And these are the topics which are your NCERT topics only. We'll be covering human respiratory system, mechanism of breathing. After that, we'll be covering about respiratory volumes, exchange of gases. In the exchange of gases, we'll be discussing how gases get exchanged in the alveoli and lungs, everything. Next, we'll be discussing about transport of gases, both oxygen and carbon dioxide. Both will be discussing separately, and in oxygen, we'll be discussing about dissociation curve also. After that, we'll be discussing about regulation of respiration. After that, disorders of respiratory system. Starting with the human respiratory system, guys. Yes. What does this first of all, what is the definition of respiration? Yes, it is the exchange of gases or exchange of CO2 and O2 from the atmosphere is called as breathing, and respiration, which is a phenomenon of generation of energy from the acquired oxygen, is called as respiration, and the physical phenomenon is called as breathing. That is a small light difference between respiration and breathing, but as per our NCERT, both are one and the same. Okay, respiration is usually different from breathing. Breathing is an physical phenomenon and respiration is a chemical phenomenon. Please remember that in your mind. After that, coming to human respiratory system, what are the organs that are present in human respiratory system? Yeah, we have the external organs and as well as internal organs. What do external organs include? They include nostrils. How many pairs of nostrils do you have, guys? Yeah, we have one pair of nostrils. As in humans, as in mammals, we have one pair of nostrils. And what are the internal? Internal starts from your nasal chamber. After that, it goes to your pharynx. After that, larynx. After that, trachea. After that, your bronchi. After that, bronchioles. And those in the bronchioles also have different. So internal organs include nasal cavity or nasal chamber. Both are the same. I'll be writing cavity. After that, you'll be having the pharynx. After that, larynx. After that, trachea. After that, bronchi. After that, bronchioles. So these are the parts of your human respiratory system. So coming to nostrils, as I said, we have one pair of nostrils which are external organs. So those are the two holes which are present. After that, nasal cavity, it is a passage. See, if these are the nostrils, this passage is called as your nasal cavity or nasal chamber. We have what are those? Oral cavity. We have one is the oral cavity, other one is a nasal cavity. This is nasal cavity, this is the oral cavity. Both are separated by what? Hard and soft palatines. Okay, they're separated by hard and soft palatines. So this is your, so they are separated by hard and soft palatines. So that is the thing, guys. Nasal cavity and oral cavity. Coming to pharynx. Pharynx, it is a common pathway between your oral cavity and nasal cavity. We have three types of pharynx. What are those? Oropharynx, nasopharynx, and laryngopharynx. This actually, it is not present in your NCERT, but I am telling out of my interest. So nasopharynx comes first, oropharynx second, and the third part is your laryngopharynx. After this laryngopharynx, you will be having larynx. And this larynx, first part of larynx is called as usually glottis. and it is covered by an cartilaginous flap. Okay, cartilaginous flap which is made up of hyaline cartilage. Sorry, it is not made up of hyaline cartilage. It is made up of fibrous cartilage. Sorry, elastic. I'm really sorry for that. Elastic cartilage. Elastic cartilage. Okay, this is made up of elastic cartilaginous flap which is called as your epiglottis. Epi means above, guys. Anywhere you get the word, you come across this word epi, you don't get worry, it means above. Endo means inner. Okay, below. So that is with epi, glottis and glottis. So larynx is also called as your voice box. Here we have our vocal cords which vibrate when the air passes in and air passes out, due to which our sound is produced. That is about your larynx. After that, trachea. Trachea is a tube which connects the transport part and conducting part, I would say. You have two parts of your human respiratory system, the transport part and conducting part. uh, Sorry, the transport or conducting and exchange part. Yes, the your transport or conducting and one is exchange part, both ones the same, which means they'll be getting your air from the outside to your inside inner lungs, and they get exchanged inside. Okay, those are, and the connection between these two I would probably call it as trachea. It is supported by C-shaped cartilaginous rings, and this is made up of hyaline only. C-shaped cartilaginous rings. These are semi actually. See, like this. They are deficient posteriorly. They are not present on the posterior side or behind. They are not present behind. They are present anteriorly. This prevents the collapsing of trachea. Whenever you breathe out your air, there is no air which is present in your conducting part or transport part, which may lead to collapsation of these structures. In order to prevent that from trachea, starting from trachea, these all are actually hollow tubes. They're hollow tubes. So whenever you have a pipe which is made up of a thin plastic, when water is there, it will be stiff. When water is not there, it will be loose. So in order to prevent that looseness or collapsing, these have C-shaped supporting things. Okay, that is about trachea. After that, they are present from trachea until bronchi, guys. Okay, for until tertiary bronchi. We have three types of bronchi: primary, secondary, and tertiary. Until secondary bronchi, we have C-shaped rings, and tertiary bronchi is also included in the exchange part. Okay, guys. Tertiary or terminal bronchi also you can call it as. Okay. After that, you see trachea, principal bronchi or primary bronchioles. So like this, and these bronchioles you have again secondary bronchioles and tertiary or respiratory bronchioles, and finally they terminate as alveoli. Okay, guys, alveoli. And this is where your exchange of gases takes place in the lungs. Alveoli are sacs, which are the functional unit of lungs. Okay, that is where your exchange of gases takes place. So this is about your human respiratory system. Am I clear with this? Am I clear with this topic? If I am clear, I would most probably move to the mechanism of breathing. What is once before just moving to the mechanism of breathing, let me show you the diagrams of this human respiratory system, so you would be very clear. Yes, guys, I'm showing you the diagrams from the MBBS textbook. Like, it is not MBBS, it is an atlas of anatomy. So this is your rib cage, guys. Actually, lungs are present inside the rib cage here, or you can also call it as thoracic cage. It is formed anteriorly by the sternum, posteriorly by the vertebrae and ribs. These ribs are the supporting organs of two vital organs. One, it is the conducting organ, and another one is the respiratory organ. The circulation organ is called as your heart, and respiratory organs are your lungs. We have two lungs, right and left lung. I'll be showing you that also. So So these are your bronchi and bronchioles. See this. Here we have your right lung and left lung, guys, and this is how they get innervated. Actually, right lung, it is a little bigger than the left lung. Left lung has a notch here. This is called as cardiac notch. You'll be studying your MBBS, where heart apex is present here. And right lung has got 3 lobes, and left lung has only got 2 lobes. Okay, and these all are alveoli. This is your trachea. These are your C-shaped cartilaginous rings, which I told they will be supporting them. Okay, these are your trachea. After that, these are your bronchi. I'll be showing you this in this diagram. See. Yeah, this is your trachea. This is your thyroid cartilage. Okay, actually there you have your larynx. This is your trachea. Coming to this are your bronchi, right and left principal bronchi, which divide into lobular bronchi, or you can also call as secondary bronchi. Okay, these are your secondary bronchi. From the tertiary bronchi, and from there you will be getting bronchioles. Okay, guys, and see this here, bronchi gives rise to bronchioles, and they terminate as alveoli. Okay, these alveoli are what you call as your exchange organs. Okay, they are sac like structures which exchange the gases. Okay, guys. Now let us move on to mechanism of breathing. This is very simple, guys. Actually, mechanism of breathing is nothing but when you breathe in and breathe out here, what are the things that are going to happen? Actually, we have 2 types of intercostal muscles. So we have 2 types of intercostal muscles. Actually, they are your external and internal intercostal muscles. These aid in the process of respiration, guys. They take their origin and insertion from the ribs only. You'll be learning all those in the MBBS. Less out of my curiosity, I'm teaching you those all. Okay, external and internal intercostal muscles. During respiration, we have 3 processes that happen. What? 3 processes that happen during respiration or breathing, physical respiration. We have inspiration. After that, exchange. This is chemical respiration. After that, you have expiration. Okay, expiration. These are the 3 processes that happen during our respiration. Okay, first of all, inspiration. What is inspiration? Taking in air. Okay, taking in air. What is expiration? Breathing out air. Okay, that is your expiration and inspiration. Exchange will be discussing under this topic. Leave it for some time. After that, during inspiration, what are the things that are going to happen? What are the changes that are going to happen? During inspiration, the internal intercostal muscles contract, due to which your rib cage moves upwards, forwards. Okay, rib cage or the thoracic cage, which I just told you, it moves up and forwards due to the contraction of internal intercostal muscles. Okay, intercostal muscles, and relaxation of external intercostal muscles. Okay, that is, rib cage moves upwards and forwards to increase the, which increases the volume and decreases the pressure. We all know volume is inversely proportional to pressure, and once the pressure is decreased and volume is increased, by the air or gases move from high pressure area to low pressure area. So outside is high pressure and inside is low pressure. They move from high to low, so they rush in. Okay, they rush in. So yes, guys, the volume increases and pressure decreases, due to which the air rushes in. Okay, Here in the sense we make air means both you will be inspiring all the three, or like all the components of air. Okay, we will be inspiring oxygen, you'll be inspiring nitrogen, you'll be inspiring carbon dioxide, you'll be inspiring water vapor, etc., etc. But other things which are required for us is oxygen, that through the breathing. Okay, through the breathing process. So oxygen is the main component. After that, during expiration, what happens is the same thing, reverse of it. What happens? Rib cage moves downwards, moves down, backwards to normal. Okay, iron means normally. After that, this all happens due to the relaxation of internal intercostal muscles and contraction of external intercostal muscles. Including these muscles, you have another type of muscle which is not an intercostal muscle, which is called as diaphragm. Okay, which is called as diaphragm or phrenic muscles. Okay, this diaphragm is also it also aids in the respiration process. During inspiration, diaphragm becomes actually diaphragm is like this, dome shaped. During inspiration, it moves down and becomes flat. During expiration, it moves up and comes into its original dome shaped position. So this is your mechanism of breathing. In between, we have an exchange. I'll be discussing that also. So that is, guys, that is it for the mechanism of breathing. Now let us discuss about the respiratory volumes and capacities. This topic you have to do on your own. Okay. Yeah. Here we have different. Okay. As you can see here, this is my old NCRT. Don't get fear of this. As you can see here, we have different types of respiratory volumes and capacities. We have tidal volume, we have inspiratory reserve volume, we have expiratory reserve volume. Okay. After that, we have residual inspiratory residual volume. Until here, they are volumes. We have these are your capacities. You have to learn these by heart on your own only. Okay, you have to learn these by heart. Okay, sorry for that disturbance of the video. I'm not able to pause the video and do it, so that is why I'm continuing the video. Okay, you have to learn these by heart. Okay, this one you have to learn this by heart. Make a tabular column and learn it by heart. Okay, that is the what volumes. And now let us see about exchange of gases. And very interesting, and also you have to learn this table also by heart. This is also an important table, guys. This pressure table is also an important table, partial pressure table. Okay, now let us see about the exchange of gases. Exchange of gases. So now, as I said in the previous video, the circulatory system, we have two types of circulations, systemic and pulmonary. Pulmonary circulation is the circulation between the lungs and the heart, and the systemic circulation is the circulation between body parts and the heart. Clear? Now we'll be discussing about pulmonary circulation. What happens is vena cava bring deoxygenated blood, right? Deoxygenated blood into right atrium. Okay, after that it gets into right ventricle, and from that pulmonary artery carries this deoxygenated blood into the lungs. And in the lungs, what happens is you have, see this is the endothelium of capillary. This is your alveoli. As I said, they are sac-like structures which are present in the lung. This is your alveoli, and this is the epithelium of the alveoli. and this is your basement membrane or basement substance. So what is this? The capillary which is which arises from the pulmonary artery. Here you have deoxygenated blood. Here in the alveoli, from the atmospheric air through the tract which I told you, the oxygenated blood enters. Okay, deoxygenated blood enters. Deoxygenated blood means your carbon dioxide. The blood contains carbon dioxide, no? That is your deoxygenated blood, which is taken to this alveoli. Each alveoli is supplied, a group of alveoli is supplied by vessels, okay, blood capillaries. Now this is your endothelium, this basement substance, this is epithelium, and this is your alveoli. What happens is this is all called as like this is completely called as your place where exchange happens, okay, exchange happens, or diffusion membrane. Yes, this is, I was searching for the right word. Diffusion membrane, okay, this is place called as diffusion membrane. What are those this is usually, it contains 3 layers, but it is usually 1 mm thick, only 1 mm thick. That is your diffusion membrane. Okay, now what happens is in the alveoli, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide in the alveoli is 40. Okay, and the deoxygenated blood, it is 45. Okay, carbon dioxide in the deoxygenated blood, it is 45 mm per hg, and in oxygenated and in alveoli it is 40. Now as I said, from high pressure to low pressure the gases move. So carbon dioxide from the capillaries diffuses into the alveoli due to the pressure difference. Okay, and the oxygen and the partial pressure of oxygen in the alveoli is your 104 mmHg, and in the deoxygenated blood the oxygen is 40. Due to this difference, oxygen from the alveoli enters into the deoxygenated blood through diffusion, and hence this blood gets oxygenated, and this oxygenated blood through the pulmonary vein, it reaches into the left atrium of the lung, and it enters into the left ventricle, and from there aorta, it travels to the body parts. And in these body parts, what happens is, if this is your body tissue, so yes, if this is the tissue, guys, and this is a blood capillary which is supplying the tissue. In the tissue, usually due to the metabolism which is happening, carbon dioxide is produced, and in the capillary we have the oxygenated blood. Now in the tissue, the partial pressure of carbon dioxide is 40 or 45, and in the oxygenated blood it is around 40. Okay, in the tissue, in the tissue it is 45, and in the oxygenated blood it is 40, and the concentration of the partial pressure of oxygen in the tissue is 40, and in the oxygenated blood it is around 95. So as I said, this moves from capillary into the tissue, oxygen and carbon dioxide from the tissue, it moves into the capillary, due to which this gets oxygenated and this gets deoxygenated, and this blood gets deoxygenated, and through the veins, through the vena cava, it again goes into the right atrium, and it goes into right ventricle, and it goes into the lungs, and again purification. And this is your mechanism or exchange of gases. This is your exchange of gases, guys. Okay, are you clear with this topic? If you have any doubts, post it in the comment section below. I'll be responding to all of your doubts. Okay, after that, now comes the main topic, that is your transport of gases. how are these gases transport. Okay. Yeah. About 97% of the oxygen is transported by RBCs. Okay. And remaining 3% O2 is transported by dissolved state. Okay, it's transported in the dissolved state through the plasma. After that, carbon dioxide 20 to 25% transported by RBCs, and 70% is carried by bicarbonate form, and around 7% it is carried by through dissolved state in plasma. Okay, through dissolved state in plasma. Now, what happens is here the mm, oxygen is transported by RBCs. RBCs have hemoglobin. Okay, hemoglobin, and each hemoglobin molecule has an affinity to bind for 4 oxygen molecules. Okay, 4 oxygen molecules. After that, now these RBCs transport oxygen in the form of oxyhemoglobin, and this is a complex which is formed between the oxygen and hemoglobin. Oxyhemoglobin. Okay, that is your affinity. And when you plot a curve between the partial pressure of oxygen and the percentage of the oxygen dissociation or carried through the hemoglobin, that curve is called as dissociation curve. Now this curve is very important, and you people feel it is little difficult, but it is never difficult. It discusses how the oxyhemoglobin is dissociated in the tissues. Okay, in the tissues the hemoglobin should leave the oxygen so that the oxygen should go enter into the tissues. So that is where in the tissues, as I told, the partial pressure of uh, oxygen is low. Okay, partial pressure of oxygen is low, and partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high. This favors the dissociation, and hence the curve moves down. Okay, and hence the curve moves down. This favors dissociation. But whereas uh, in the lungs, the partial pressure of oxygen is high and partial pressure of carbon dioxide is low comparatively. So this favors the formation of oxyhemoglobin. This favors the dissociation. This favors the association. Okay, and hence the curve moves up. If it moves towards the left side, remember like this simply. If it moves towards the left side is your oxygenated blood, so therefore it promotes oxyhemoglobin formation. If it moves towards the right side or down, it promotes dissociation of the oxyhemoglobin. Okay, so what are the favorable conditions for oxyhemoglobin formation? High PO2, low PCO2, due to which H plus ion concentration is decreased, and lower temperature. These are the things which promote the formation of oxyhemoglobin. Okay, whereas in tissues, low PO2, high PCO2, high H plus concentration, and low pH and high temperature. This favors this dissociation of oxyhemoglobin, and this dissociated oxygen, it travels through the diffusion into the tissues, and it oxygenates the tissues. So that is the oxygen dissociation curve. Okay, after that, transport of carbon dioxide. Usually carbon dioxide is transported through the hemoglobin only 20 to 25% in the form of carbamino hemoglobin. Okay, carbamino hemoglobin. How is done, how this formation or aggregation or association of carbon dioxide and hemoglobin is done? It is due to the presence of an enzyme called as carbonic anhydrase, or Ca. Okay, this carbonic anhydrase is higher. It is higher in its concentration in the RBCs than in the uh, plasma. Okay, than in the plasma. Okay, after that, Now, what happens is this carbonic anhydrous promotes the activity of CO2 binding to the water. From where this water came, we inhale water vapor also, I told you. Okay, it just forms H2CO3. Okay, H2CO3, and this H2CO3, and this is formed in the tissues. Okay, this is formed in the tissues. Okay, and this happens. See, this is. Let me explain you this part. What is this? Bicarbonate. Okay, this is sorry, not bicarbonate, this is carbonate, and after this it again happens here, converts it into bicarbonate, HCO3 minus and H plus. Okay, this is bicarbonate, and this is a transportable form. What happens in the alveoli is this happens, reverse reaction happens, and in the tissues the forward reaction happens. What happens is, see, in the tissues you have carbon dioxide and water vapor also. Now in the tissues what happens is this carbon dioxide, it associates or binds with the water to form H2CO3 in the presence of carbonic anhydrase enzyme. Okay, now this H2CO3 in the presence of same enzyme, it is converted into HCO3 and H plus ions. So therefore, that is why we have discussed that in the tissues H plus concentration is higher. Okay, in the tissues H plus concentration is higher because this is formed, okay, due to the activity of carbonic anhydrase enzyme. Okay, now what happens is this gets deoxygenated. No, this is the formation of this is the formation of bicarbonates, and this bicarbonates, we have to get relief of this carbon dioxide. In order to get this carbon dioxide rid, what happens is in the alveoli, the reverse reaction happens. HCO3 and H plus combine to form H2CO3, and this H2CO3 breaks down into carbon dioxide and water. This water vapor and carbon dioxide both are breathed out. Okay, both are sent out through the process called as expiration. Okay, and this is the transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. So we have completed transport of gases and this. If you have any doubts, please post it in the comment section. In any topic, if you have doubt, just post it in the comment section. Now we'll be discussing about the regulation of respiration. A specialized center called as respiratory rhythm center. Respiratory rhythm center. It is present in medulla. Okay, medulla oblongata region of the brain. It is primarily responsible for the regulation. Okay, another center which is present in the pons paroli region called as pneumotaxic center. Okay, pneumotaxic center which is present in pons is also responsible. This is secondarily responsible, this is primarily responsible. And there's chemosensitive areas are present adjacent to these rhythm center, which are highly sensitive to CO2, and this is how the regulation happens. Whenever CO2 concentration is higher, it favors the formation of this bicarbonates, and this is taken to the lungs sorry, and in the alveoli this happens. So this is how regulation of respiration happens. After that, coming into the disorders, we have various disorders of respiratory system, in which we have only 3 important disorders. One is your asthma. You have to learn about this disorders, guys. Please listen very carefully. One, it is your asthma, emphysema, okay, and occupational respiratory disorders. In asthma, what happens is fluid accumulates in the lungs. Due to this fluid accumulation, we cannot breathe properly. Okay, this is usually seen in chronic smoking people. Asthma. Okay, whooping cough is found in asthma patients. Next, after that, emphysema, it is a chronic disorder. It is not a single time disorder in which the alveoli size gets reduced, number and size get reduced. Alveoli number and size get reduced in emphysema, due to which the surface area of absorption or exchange decreases, and due to which the breathing or respiration does not occur properly. And this is also one of the major causes cigar smoking only. Okay. After that, the occupational respiratory disorders, these, as the name suggests, these respiratory disorders occur based on your occupation. If you are working any under like what to tell, long exposure to the uh, certain dust particles, okay, it can cause fibrosis. So we have many other diseases silicosis. We have so many disorders. So industrial workers, you have to wear protective mask due to prevent this occupational respiratory disorders. So this is about the respiratory system, guys, and breathing and exchange of gases. And if you have any doubts, please post it in the comment section below. I'll be ready to answer your doubts. And thank you guys for watching this video. Hope you liked it. If you do so, please hit that like button and subscribe to our channel NEET Atomics. And this is Vamsi signing off. Bye bye guys. Have a great day further. Thank you.